Alright, hello everybody and welcome back to the Suzuki Cappuccino. I thought I'd just provide a short update video. I've done quite a bit to the car, so let's have a little look around. We'll start with the engine, because that's where we've done the most bits and bobs. Alright, as you can see, I certainly haven't cleaned under here, but for the keen-eyed viewers, you'll notice some fresh spark leads, also some plugs, an HKS intake. We've done some fresh belts, so they're all ready to go. Obviously new, fluids and everything. I did the fuel filter, so that's all good. Gave the headlights a polish. They came up quite well actually, not too shabby. Doesn't look great in this light actually, but you'll have to take my word for it. They're much better than what they were. Moving on to the inside, where we've made quite a few improvements. I did a set of shifter bushes, which now makes this, ooh, that's lovely. So quite a bit. It was completely sloppy and absolutely ruined before. I changed the steering wheel. This is actually the same size steering wheel. It's actually also a Momo steering wheel, so same sort of setup, but the old wheel was very worn on the top, as you would have seen in the previous video, and that was actually just really annoying to just put your hand on it all the time. This one's also a bit better. This material is better for gripping and for motorsport use. It was pretty cheap at Up Garage, so I thought I'd just swap it out. Basically, the only thing wrong with it is a little bit of wear on this logo and a little bit of wear here as well, but besides that, it's good. I rerouted these wires and hoses to stop them blocking the vent, because that was really annoying. It's still a very ugly setup. I'd like to push it like up against there so it's less sticky outy, but for now it'll do. It was actually really annoying because this hose here was so brittle from sunlight that it kept breaking when I put it back on the back of the gauge, so I had to cut so much off of it and carefully get it on there. Thankfully it's okay. I was worried I was going to have to replace the whole hose and that would have been very annoying, but yeah, that was okay. I've removed the GPS thing here. That was, you know, no good, old, useless, whatever. I've kept the switch for this dome light, mainly because, I mean, it's very ugly, but it's also actually really useful, because the one in the middle, it really at night time, it's not, if you're looking for something down here or here, it's, yeah. So as ugly as it is, I'm probably going to keep it for the time being, although I would like to reroute the wires up in there and in the pillar eventually, but right now that's not a priority. So yeah, in here, we did do a stereo. You know, these are pretty cheap. The old one kept turning off randomly, so I just bought a new one, put it in. Thankfully, all of the wires had been done professionally on the previous radio, so all I had to do was switch a few wires around and plug them in, and yeah, I got quite lucky there, so that was wonderful. I also did, it's really hard to see, but there's speakers right deep in the footwells. Terrible spot for them, but anyway, there's one on each side. This is a 2-speaker only vehicle. I did replace the speakers with a second-hand set from Up Garage as well, because the old ones, well, I'll show you a picture on screen. They were literally not usable. They sounded terrible. Honestly, my phone speaker was literally better than these broken old speakers. We still have to do the vents. I've looked into this. I did take this off and have a look at the part, get the part numbers. These are actually quite expensive. These are like 70 Australian dollars for these tiny little vents. But obviously we don't have much say in the matter. We will be replacing them, but yeah, not a priority right now, but that is in the pipeline. Other than that, oh right, the most important thing. Last time I mentioned that the driver's side window did not move, and I was worried that I would have to do a regulator. Thankfully that was not the case. It was just really jammed and gunked up, all in the tracks, all in this channel here. So we gave it a clean, greased everything up, and look at that. A little bit slow going up, but honestly not too bad for an old car. Yeah, I was so relieved because those regulators were pretty expensive, about $400. So that was excellent news. Also, this window here was very slow. So after I did this one, I figured, oh, that must be the problem on the passenger side. So I did that one as well. And look at that, no problems at all. In fact, it's so fast. When I get home, I am greasing all of my windows, especially in the Supra. That's going to be a lot better. So yeah, windows working great, shifter's working great. But the biggest difference to the driving of the vehicle that I've made so far is without a doubt these semi-slick tires. Nankang NS2Rs right here. These are truly wonderful. I have stepped up to 175s, up from the standard 165, and they look quite good. That fitment is wonderful. They are very aggressive. The only problem is we have gained a bit of a gap in the fenders, so we probably will have to lower the vehicle a bit to make it look a bit nicer. Moving on to the trunk, nothing particularly exciting here. I did buy some tools, which I brought back with me on my bicycle, which was very interesting. Other than that, everything's pretty much the same in here, you know, fluids, tools, nothing exciting. I did also pick up a second-hand helmet as well. So yeah, that's the update on the Cappuccino. Moving forwards, the big things we have to fix is the second gear synchronizer does not like to be shifted hard. It's a little bit crunchy sometimes. Usually when you're driving it hard or you're doing like a quick shift, if you're in first and you just into second, no problem. But you know, if you rev it out and you go for a quick shift, yeah, it's a bit crunchy. It's not real happy. Third to second, same sort of deal. If you're ripping second, it doesn't like it. If you just boop, 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 no problem. But I have got the synchronizers. I ordered them even before I got the car. But obviously that's a big job because the gearbox has got to come out and come apart. And yeah, that's something I'm not interested in doing personally. I think I'll pay someone for that. The other major issue with the car at the moment, the propeller shaft, the main drive shaft, the tail shaft, or whatever you want to call it, has a rubber bearing in the middle, a rubber like support. That I believe is chewed out and worn, and it's causing a little bit of vibration at certain RPMs. Not all of the RPMs, sometimes it's wonderful, but sometimes it's a bit of vibration. So that's not great. So we will have to address that. I was going to have a look at it, but you get under, and because this car is so small, it has the drive shaft, a heat shield, and then the exhaust. So you can't even see the drive shaft. So yeah, I'm assuming that's the problem. There's not really anything else in the driveline that would cause that kind of a problem. So I'm pretty confident that's the issue. I've tried to find the part online, and all I can find is entire drive shaft. So I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to tackle that issue yet. I do know a guy here who specializes in Suzuki. He actually is a member of this club. He's got many Altos and whatnot, and he knows people that have a Cappuccino workshop. So he told me to get in contact with him and he would work something out for me. So that's wonderful. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I mean, second gear, synchro, we got to do, drive shaft, we got to do. And the car is mechanically sweet. I've driven it quite a few, I think I've done about 1,000 kilometers in it. Mostly either driving in the city stop-start or going out in the mountains and having a bit of fun. And the car's been pretty flawless. I've got a little bit of a clunk in the front end when I bring it to a stop. I think there's some suspension bushes that need to be addressed. But yeah, honestly, the car's going pretty well. I think the next modification, once we've sorted out all these issues, we're going to need some suspension now. Before we had the old tires, the car would just slide around and, you know, you didn't really notice. Now that I've got grippy tires, you really throw it into a corner and the weight shifts and the car really leans. So yeah, definitely going to have to look at some suspension, I think, if we're going to get some better handling. But yeah, that's the update on the Cappuccino. And yeah, I'll be sure to keep everyone informed. And yeah, that's about it. So hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.